Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Inquiring Together. My name is Anthony Barreto, and on this channel, we look to bring science into political science, explore the interplay between advanced technology and our relationship to the world, and whether if we could figure out for ourselves how to move forward together. On this episode, we ask, who is responsible for this world? And this question here is one which merits slowness, does it not? It's on a scale very grand, and this world is continuously being prompted by us. We can search on YouTube, search on Google, search on any sort of social media platform and find the world in front of us. And we can find with great speed and ease a question of those who have grown and are accustomed to using this sort of information and social media technology, which is, what is the meaning behind all of this? How come this world is such drudgery? How come this world is one of mechanical expectations? One where one feels like they're on a predetermined path, and the predetermined path is becoming even more inaccessible to the average person. And it appears that younger generations are looking at past generations' efforts and their responsibility for this world and seeing flaws in all of it. And yet, what is a new generation inheriting this world supposed to do? Naturally, as this world is constructed, it is to utilize knowledge and memory and experience, is it not? To come upon responsibility, determine courses of action. What then in a world that is quickly, we can see this for ourselves, quickly making the machine the arbiter of knowledge, memory, and experience. Anywhere from an AI doing your taxes, to an AI helping with your physics problems, to the proposition of AI creating new physics endeavors fields, to AI providing the knowledge, memory, and experience for a decision maker, politician, judge, an executive, and whether knowledge, memory, and experience then could solve the problems of this world. One deeply entrenched in war, lasting decades, wars over land, knowledge about such land, knowledge about one another, and the differences as such. The inability to reconcile how one knowledge can exist amongst another knowledge or knowing. We can see this for ourselves play out in the West, in the East. We can see this play out across the political spectrum. the economic ideologies, all based on gathering knowledge, memory, and experience and applying it. And so we find a world that is quickly advancing in terms of artificial intelligence supplanting the routine to the very critical. And what is this world to do without having to get back to work? Because if we look for ourselves, we can see that work and the pursuit of economic success, financial success, is the difference maker, which can take up time from inquiring together about the differences between us, the conflicts between us, the fights between us. What happens when the Aardmen get into a fight? I say, get back to work, as we must. And we can see that our advancements, technological, industrial, all depend on fossil fuels. That which is non-renewable. And it is cause for mankind to exponentially grow at such speed and momentum. There is no space for us to inquire deeply. No time as such. We must, from childhood, quickly gather knowledge, memory, and experience. Go to college, gather knowledge, memory, and experience, and then apply it. And each generation before us has done as such. But now we're reaching a point where responsibility for this world may not depend on knowledge, memory, and experience. And if we look closely, we can ask ourselves as well, then, what is the world? What is the world without the knowledge, memory, and experience of it? The knowledge of this political ideology in its coercive ways, or that political ideology and its demeaning ways, or this economic system compared to that economic system, and all of the different belief systems, philosophies, and opinions. The countries of this world, nations divided, each nation with its own interests. And we can see that if we were to see the world from space, the whole of it, we could see that these attributes, these descriptions, these beliefs, these knowings, these memories are not separate from the psychological self. That the psychological self is the divider, is the separator. And as this division grows within societies that are in constant communication, quickly they will react and separate the psychological self from the world. And so all day, the division from oneself and the world persists. And that there is somewhere else, there is a thinker somewhere else in this world that is applying the appropriate knowledge, memory, and experience to be responsible for this world. Separation in roles, positions. But if something like this world is based on that of which can be blown by the wind, the continuous need for the continuity of the psychological self, which is the world, to be as it should be, we can see that, of course, conflict will erupt. Because anything born out of limitation will have a gap filled, a gap between limitations. And such gaps must bring conflict, contradictions. I agree, I disagree. I believe, I don't believe. Is then the responsibility for this world, for its conflict to resolve, ever separate from oneself. Because you are the world. You, the knowledge, memory, and experience, is the world's knowledge, memory, and experience. And the split between oneself and the world is thought, is the thinker. So can thought be utilized to come to its own limitation? To be able to reason beyond its limitation. To see that, for starters, to begin, reason won't solve the problems of this world. That first step, essentially, is the last step.